Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sydney. In today's video I have a ton of information to share with all of you. Lots of Poshmark updates, lots of exciting new features that Poshmark has added. We're also going to talk a little bit about the trends from the Posh Insider email that they sent out yesterday. So just a ton of information that I have for you in this video. Before we get started, I do want to give a shout out to someone who commented on my last video. It was my what sold on Mercari video. If you have not watched it, definitely go watch it. It has a ton of information in it. Lots of sales happening on Mercari, so that's pretty exciting. But I did just want to point out this comment from Frugal Babe. She says, I feel like Mercari can be great. It has its pros and cons like any other platform. But as you mentioned, it seems more for lower priced items. I've sold a pair of shoes for about $100 on there, but after hearing how they favor the buyer in complaints, I've shied away from posting nicer handbags or more expensive items. My main beef with Mercari is that you can't offer each new liker their own discount like you can on Poshmark. So you have to decide between being quick to offer or waiting for a bunch of people to like and then sending out a bulk offer. So she brings up several points that I just want to talk about briefly in reference to my last video. I did have an issue with Mercari. This was a long time ago, but it was where a package had been scanned, delivered, and the buyer had contacted me and said that even though the package was scanned delivered, it was nowhere to be found. So I think they had to open a case with Mercari. I'm not sure. I can't remember exactly how that works. But basically Mercari contacted me and told me that I was the one responsible for contacting the buyer's local post office to see where this item was. Now, being that the buyer was in a completely different location, completely different state and everything, I feel like it would be more productive if the customer could contact either their post office or their local mailman, or even go and ask their neighbors if they had seen the package. I feel like that would be a more productive way of finding the package versus me trying to find the package from a completely different location. So that was another thing that kind of put a bad taste in my mouth for Mercari. I am seeing great sales on Mercari. I feel like Mercari has come a long way since then, but just something I wanted to point out is I don't plan on listing anything super expensive on Mercari. So valuable things, really high priced items, I would definitely list those on Poshmark before you list them on anywhere else, just because Poshmark has a much better track record in terms of customer service for sellers and supporting the seller in any sort of sketchy situation. So if you have higher priced items, always list those on Poshmark first before you list them anywhere else. Also, anything that sells on Poshmark over $500 has to actually go to Poshmark's headquarters, and then they will verify the item, and then they then send it to the customer. So Poshmark has a lot of policies in place that actually protects their sellers. It is one reason why I recommend Poshmark to be the first platform if you are brand new, if you are just starting reselling, to sell on, just because they are so seller friendly. They are definitely the most seller friendly out of all of the selling platforms. So I did want to point this out. And then the thing about the offers to likers, I do have another Mercari video coming out in a little bit that will talk more about the offers to likers. But then Frugal Babe goes on to say, anyway, I love your videos. You are one of the first YouTube resellers I learned from. Your Goodwill guide really helped me start seeing success at the bins. So thank you so much, Frugal Babe, for your sweet comments and your sweet words. Even if I just help one person, like making these videos, I always wonder, like, are they helpful? Am I helping people? Am I doing enough? So I really love when I get comments like this. The Goodwill guide that she mentioned is part of my sourcing guide bundle. I will link that down in the description box and in the comments if you need help, if you need help sourcing and learning what kinds of items to buy to resell that are going to start getting you consistent daily sales. And then the Goodwill outlet guide, which will help you to be able to source at the bins more efficiently. And you can also take that Goodwill outlet guide and really apply it to any thrift store that sells merchandise for very cheap. So if you have a thrift store that sells items for $1.50, you know, very low cost items. You can also take that Goodwill Outlet Guide and apply the tips from there in those thrift stores as well. Before we get into these new features that Poshmark has introduced, definitely leave me a comment down below during the video. Let me know what you think about the features, the filters, everything we're going to talk about today. I love hearing you guys' feedback. Okay, so let's get into this video. I do want to talk about briefly the Posh Insider email that was sent out yesterday. It did have sort of a mini trend report in it, and I do want to point out just a few of those items that they mentioned in the email. So it's under trending now. It says the weather's heating up and so are the trends. From getaway favorites to summer essentials, check out these trending items you should add to your closet right now. And then it mentions Tommy Bahama, Birkenstock, and Pottery Barn. So you always want to pay attention to these brands that Poshmark is featuring in their emails. And you guys know that I love Tommy Bahama, that I preach Tommy Bahama everywhere in several videos. Most of my thrift hauls have something Tommy Bahama in them. It is a great brand. It has a very loyal fan base, and these items do sell very consistently. Birkenstocks, obviously, they are more of like an outdoor hiking sandal, so you definitely want to pick those up when you see them. And Pottery Barn, if you don't know, Pottery Barn is a very expensive furniture store, so anything from Pottery Barn is quite pricey. If you find it out in the thrift store, definitely pick it up for the home market. But another thing that I want to talk about that's interesting in this little trending now blurb is a new feature that Poshmark has introduced, and those are style tags. So you've probably noticed when you're going to list something that there is now a space in your listing for style tags, and you really want to be taking advantage and filling in these tags to make your listings appear in more searches, because Poshmark is showing these tags whenever people search for things. They have the option to click on them and filter by these tags. So for example, for Tommy Bahama, it recommends using the style tags coastal and casual. So casual is a tag that you can use pretty much across the board, you know, for anything casual, t-shirts, shoes, jeans, you can put the casual tag on there, and that is going to bring your listings up if somebody clicks on that tag. And then you have coastal. You can also use tags like beach or preppy to describe your clothing. For Birkenstocks, it recommends neutral or bohemian. Bohemian and boho are huge tags, as well as western. You can use that. For Pottery Barn, it recommends cozy and farmhouse. So you really want to utilize this tags feature. Again, when you're thinking of tags, try to use something that you haven't used necessarily as a keyword, but that is more of a genre, or something just in general that can describe your item, that is related to your item. But make sure that you are filling in those tags, because people are now able to search by the style tags. Next thing I want to talk about, last night I was listing on Poshmark, and literally I listed one item and then I went to list another item, and there were all these new categories under the categories tab, the women's categories, and it was definitely glitching just a little bit. If you have watched my previous videos, you know whenever Poshmark starts glitching, that usually means that they are updating something, and my theory has proven true once again. So last night, again, lots of different categories added. It was very messy, honestly. It didn't look like something that it didn't look like Poshmark to me. One of Poshmark's best features is that they are a very clean app with a very clean interface. Everything is very organized, everything is very user-friendly. So when all these popped up under the general women's categories, I was a little concerned, just because I don't think this is what they meant it to do. Obviously, they have since fixed it. So make sure that you update your app so that the glitch doesn't happen to you. I was just a little concerned. Just another tip, anytime you see something weird happening Try to transfer your balance. If you have a balance, definitely transfer it to your bank account. I try not to keep a huge balance on my Poshmark account anyway, just because when you are dealing with money and technology, anything can happen. But if you notice anything weird start happening on any selling platform, definitely transfer your balance to your bank immediately, just to be on the safe side. But I woke up this morning and they had released an update to the app. So again, make sure you go in and you update your app. So all of these new categories that were showing up last night have been contained under one new category, and that is global and traditional wear. And I think that this is just awesome. I think this is a really great thing for Poshmark to do. And I posted this in my group that I was hopeful that they were trying to be more culturally inclusive to people, and adding all of these new categories that would be more inclusive to more people. So I'm very excited to see that Poshmark has added this global category. I think it's going to encourage more sales on Poshmark, more people to list on Poshmark, and I think it was just a really nice thing for them to do. Another feature that Poshmark has added with this new update is something that I mentioned in my previous video when they first introduced their new shipping discounts, and that is the ability to filter by a shipping discount. So in my previous video when I talked about this, I mentioned this concept, and they have now implemented it. So now you can actually go into the app and you can filter by a shipping discount, meaning somebody can go into the filters and they can actually filter by the listings that are offering free shipping on whatever they are searching for. So this is definitely something that you need to be implementing into your listings now that people are actually able to search by the shipping discounts. You can search by free, you can search by discounted shipping. I do imagine most people will be searching by free shipping. If this is something that concerns you, that scares you, that's going to cut into your earnings, definitely pick up my pricing guide. I will link that down below. It has a ton of information in it that you need to know in order to be pricing your items correctly, so that things like this do not cut into your earnings. So if you are concerned about this cutting into your earnings, definitely pick up the pricing guide. You need to be pricing accordingly, because people are now going to be searching for items by free shipping, especially when it was just announced yesterday that USPS is increasing their prices once again. So we can expect Poshmark to have to increase their prices once again. So it is my hope that in the future Poshmark will implement some sort of tiered shipping option, instead of expecting their customers to pick up the shipping discounts. But until that happens, you need to be pricing your items accordingly in order to account for these shipping discounts. Now, you don't necessarily have to go in and put free shipping on all of your items. That's not at all what I'm saying. But you do want to start playing around with free shipping, especially on higher priced items, like higher end items. You might want to consider offering free shipping on those items, just to be a little bit more competitive with other sellers. But this is definitely something that you need to start incorporating into your pricing and into your business. Okay guys, that is my video for today. I hope you guys learned something. If you have any questions, if I need to clarify something, definitely leave me a comment down below. I will link my sourcing guides, my pricing guides, all of that in the comments and in the description box. And I will see you guys in the next